There's two things I had growing up that I'm really happy about. One, growing up with siblings, so I was never lonely. And two, living in the projects. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would she be happy that she grew up in the projects? See, the way my neighborhood was set up was perfect for kids. There were 4 blocks, and we named these blocks after the kids who lived there, depending on who was in your friend circle. In my case, my block, I just referred to as my side. The block next to mine, I referred to as Luigi's neighborhood, because that's who I would go see when I was on that side of the neighborhood. So the block in front of my block, I called Farbud's neighborhood, because he was the only kid we knew who lived on that side of the neighborhood. Lastly, the 4th block in front of Luigi's neighborhood, we either called Christian's neighborhood, Bea's neighborhood, or Daher's neighborhood. We knew a lot of kids on that side. Okay, now that you know the layout, you'll have a better understanding of what I'm talking about throughout the story. On the left side of my block was a community college. Now, because we grew up next to the college, we never really understood how private the college property was. Probably because we would go in there to hang out all the time. So it seemed like it was a pretty public place. You don't believe me? Here's an actual picture of me and my friends just hanging out at the college, doing whatever we're doing in this picture. So one day, a bunch of my friends and I got together for a game of Manhunt. Usually when we play, we limit the 4 blocks to hide in. If you're hiding anywhere outside of the 4 blocks, we're not looking for you. We'll maybe call you twice. If we can't find you after that, you're on your own. So that meant the forest, the high school, and the college were off limit. But that particular day, we felt adventurous. Farbud had came back from the store with some new walkie-talkies, and we were in the mood to be on some James Bond-ish that day. We rounded up as many kids as we could. We even included the random kids we rarely hung out with, which would later come to be a big mistake because it was one of those random kids who messed up the game. How, you ask? Keep listening. So we're in a group trying to figure out who's going to be hunted and who's going to hunt. And since we're feeling adventurous that day, one of us goes, yo, you know what would be a great idea? We should play Manhunt in the college. And we're all like, oh my gosh, yes, that's such a good idea. Let's do it. So we separate the roles. I think we were about like 10 kids. All the random kids end up being hunted. Amongst them is myself and Fatih. And everybody else is hunting. So we get a 5-minute head start to run into the college and hide. The college is like 90% windows. So they can see where we're running from outside. If you went upstairs, they knew. If you went downstairs, they knew. They didn't know exactly where you were, but they had a general idea. The college is shaped in a circle. Me and Fatih decided to run straight through the college so that way we could gain more distance from whatever hunter was coming in. Fast forward to the end of the game, we've been hiding inside of the college for a while. So we start to make our way back to the front doors to see if the game was over yet, and we had won. As we're walking back, we hear a big crash and a very angry French guy who starts screaming. We don't pay much mind to it until my French-speaking self starts to realize what he's screaming about. One of the random kids we let play with us that day decided it was a smart idea to run past a guy who was chilling and studying on his laptop. Her foot got stuck on his charger and his laptop flew out of his lap and fell on the ground. And it must have fell hard because that was the crash I heard from down the hallway.